I wanted to go on a seed trip because one of my coaches from softball talked about it, and she just said it was one of the best trips of her life.
First, I knew that you travel. You know, it's a little bit of a bonus.
I've been on a couple mission trips in the past, but never one that incorporates sports into service.
Each day we would go to a different school that Push to Rock had partnered with, and so we would play games with the kids and teach them about our sports, which was really cool. And then we would share a faith story with them. And then it was really awesome. After you would share your story, these kids would just gravitate towards you.
The relationship part was pretty cool. I am definitely super close with the whole group. Now we're doing like a Bible study. I could totally see some of them being like my best friends.
Because I'm introverted, going into a trip with other strangers, like that was very interesting to me. Getting to know people isn't really in my comfort zone. So kind of being forced to know these people really helped. And I've learned when I can make relationships with people I don't know, relationships that are still strong.
On our trip, I feel like we grew really close really quickly, which everybody said would happen, but it was crazy how fast it really did happen.
You kind of already have that unspoken connection with other student athletes on campus, but I never could have imagined the extent of the bonding that would happen on that trip. Coming back to campus, I have a whole nother group of friends. Those are my people.
I'd say that soccer was the language between us on the team and the kids. If we had a soccer ball, like we didn't even need to say anything.
Even though a lot of us didn't speak their language, it was cool to use sports as like a platform for God's kingdom.
At least once a day we would have worship. It's like different, but it's really cool. A lot of dancing, a lot of singing, so kind of similar to chapel, but taking a few notches higher.
Half of the team went to the school for kids with physical disabilities, and I honestly didn't really know what to expect. What I experienced that day, nobody could have told me how good and how fun it would have been.
At each school we would go to, we would take water filters for the communities, and we would demonstrate them and teach them how to assemble the water filters. And then when we were doing that, we would say the unfiltered water is like your life before Christ, and the filtered water is like your life after Christ, and because of God, now you have new life. And ultimately, like, water is the gift of life to them because it's something that they don't have, that we often forget and take for granted.
The looks on their faces as the water dripped out of the filter, and then drinking the water knowing that it's clean is definitely something that we all will never forget.
If we look back about a year ago, with my faith was just like, I guess like questioning, like prodding around, just trying to learn more.
My faith before going on a sea trip, I would say, was pretty stagnant. I would go to church and I'd go to chapel, but I felt like I needed something more.
Like I was kind of coasting, like nothing bad was happening. I didn't have a very significant reason to like count on God, but I just knew He was always there.
After the trip, I felt like I had this spiritual high and just this connection with God that I never wanted to lose, because I never want to not feel that way again.
After, I just saw how blessed I am and how blessed I am to have a relationship with Christ and with God.
Even with like all the hardships that they were going on, they were able to see it through like the light of God and always be like grateful for what they had and things like that. Prospectively, it was like wow, we should take a little bit of that away and be just grateful in general.
A lot of the kids play with soccer balls that are absolutely destroyed, but it still brings them so much joy, and they complain about nothing. And a lot of times we place so much value on materialistic things.
The biggest thing I'm bringing back, and it's something that I think about a lot on the women's soccer team, is it's so much more than soccer. Sports is so much more than sports. It's about high-fiving your teammate when they make a good play. It's about putting your arm around them when they're down. And it was just really, really neat to travel so far and see God at work.
For those who don't have as strong a faith with Christ or do not have a lot of background in service, I'd say that this is your chance to take a leap of faith.
For those who have never been on a mission trip before, like, God will use you where you're at, and it's also a really great opportunity to bond with other athletes and to create friendships that will last you for the rest of your life, because you all share an experience that no one else has.
I'd say don't be nervous about where you are in your faith, whether you're all into it or you're not at all or you're somewhere in the middle. not intimidating. Faith aspect is always around you. Like you're always able to reach out into it, but it's also not like pushed onto you.
If you've never been on a mission trip ever before, there's no better time than right now to do it, than college. When you're learning who you are, when you're learning who God wants you to be, this is the time to step outside of your comfort zone and do it. God teaches us so much when you stop thinking about yourself and look towards other people. And that's exactly what Seed does.